Hello everyone, I'm FMZ. Now that FM21 has a release date, it's November the 24th for those who have missed it, although the beta will probably drop 10 to 14 days before release. I thought I'd do a short series to put forward the case for you to manage clubs, starting today with Tottenham Hotspur. Don't forget, if you enjoy this content, please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and don't forget to click the notification bell to know when a new video goes up on the channel. Right, that's enough waffling from me. Let's get into it, shall we? Now, as we don't have the FM21 database to draw upon, we're not really going to take a look at the stats of the players. It's more of a squad overview as to what you'll have at your disposal. But looking at the club in its entirety, first of all, for the first time in a while, you'll be playing Thursday night football with Tottenham as they've qualified for the Europa League. After missing out on the Champions League, you will enter the second qualifying round, so your season is going to start pretty early on. But looking at the recent history, it's been a very good recent history for Tottenham Hotspur. Second place in 16-17, and they hadn't finished outside the top four in the previous 4 seasons up to last season. Obviously, Jose Mourinho will be the manager to start FM21 until you take his place. Now, I have to say, as a Spurs fan myself, I am absolutely delighted with this year's squad. It is probably the most complete squad we've had since we sold Kyle Walker to Manchester City a few years ago. I've added in the under-23 so I can pinpoint a couple of those players who are probably going to be useful to you going forward, but we'll start with the goalkeepers. So starting with the goalkeepers, Tottenham have a number 1 in Hugo Lloris. If you decide to change him, that is entirely up to you, of course. But Joe Hart has been brought in for the number 2 slot, which pushes Paulo Gazzaniga down to number 3. So you may look to cash in on Paulo Gazzaniga. But Tottenham do have a couple in the under-23s that are ready for first-team action. Alfie Whiteman has been involved with the first team for a couple of years, as has Brandon Austin. So they are ready to step up if you fancy cashing in on any of the other goalies. Moving into the defence, where we start in the right-back position, Matt Doherty has been brought in from Wolves to compete with Serge Aurier for that right-back berth. Obviously, they're both excellent at going forward, but obviously there are question marks over Aurier in terms of his defensive capabilities. Will you be able to get the best out of him for that, or will you cash in on him? Obviously Tottenham were supposedly looking to do that over the summer, so that is an option for you at right back. Left back, you've got plenty of positional choices to make. So you've got Ben Davies, who is the current incumbent at left back. Danny Rose, who is still with the club but only has 12 months left on his contract and is looking to run it down, it would seem. Sergio Reguilon has come in from Real Madrid. That is one of the big signings of this summer for Tottenham Hotspur. He looks to be an excellent addition to the squad. Taking a look at other left backs that you have, Dennis Serkin is one that's coming through, and he looks to be a bright prospect as well. Moving into the centre-back position, and that's probably going to be the area that you're going to be focused on the most to try and add another player into it. Obviously, you've got the likes of Alderweireld, you've got the likes of Davinson Sanchez, you've got the likes of Eric Dyer, who have moved back from playing in midfield to centre-half. Japet Tanganga is another one that's coming through and looks to be a fairly decent prospect for you. Cameron Carter-Vickers, in my opinion at least, is one you should probably let go. He's been out on loan 5 or 6 times now, never really found a home. I always refer to him as a bendy bus because he has the turning circle of a bendy bus. Sorry, Karen, but he's just not that quick over the ground. So he is certainly one that I would look to replace if I were you. Moving into midfield, where Tottenham have added Pierre-Emile Højbjerg into their centre midfield department. Looks to be a good addition thus far. Obviously had a great couple of years with Southampton. Giovanni Lo Celso made his deal permanent last January, so he is with you there, FM21. Obviously Eric Dyer can play in centre midfield as well as centre back. Harry Winks is a good ball-playing midfield player, likes to keep the play moving, does old Harry. Tanguy Ndombele, again, seems to have found his feet so far this season, fingers crossed, although I didn't find him to be that bad in FM20, to be brutally honest. I thought he was a good player. Obviously, you've got the likes of Gedson Fernandes and Musa Sissoko as well. Your only box-to-box midfield player is Musa Sissoko, so you may want to look at that. Players coming through, you've got Harvey White is coming through. George Marsh is another good addition from the under-23s if you're looking to flesh out the squad a little bit. And Jamie Bowden is another player coming through that looks to be pushing on for a first-team place. But it's in attacking midfield where I'm most excited for you, because the prodigal son has returned. Gareth Bale is back at Tottenham Hotspur, as I'm sure you're all acutely aware. Maybe 31 years old, but I'm certain he is going to be able to do a job once he's fit. That'll be your key thing. He's not going to be out for too long when FM21's database drops for the new game. So yeah, I'm excited to see him put on a Tottenham shirt again, as I'm sure are you. Competing with him on that right-hand side will probably be Lucas Moura. Obviously, Lucas scoring that hat-trick against Ajax in the Champions League semi-final a few years ago. Still blows a bit hot and cold for me, but is another able body on that right-hand side. Not forgetting, of course, Eric Lamela, the sole survivor of the original Gareth Bale money. A lot of people find it funny that Gareth Bale has been brought back to essentially replace Eric Lamela. It's quite ironic, really. So he's another good midfield player, probably the one that is most in danger of being let go by the club, although he is a good worker. That has to be said for Eric Lamela. Moving out to the left-hand side, you've got Steven Bergwijn and Heung-min Son out on the left-hand side. Jack Clark is also with the club now, although you may look to loan him back out again should you choose to. Kazenga Sterling is a good prospect coming through from the under-23s if you want to add a little bit of youth to that left-hand side. You may well look at someone to play behind the striker as well. At the moment, Dele Alli is only really that person that you have that can play that role behind the striker, or at least naturally. Lo Celso can do it, but it's not really a good fit for him. He prefers to be in the central two rather than the man behind the striker. So that's certainly something I would have a look at. Obviously, Tottenham, I don't think, have ever replaced Christian Eriksen since they let him go last January. And that was one of the things that potentially they were probably looking at in the summer, just couldn't find the right fit for it. And lastly, we will move into the striking department where, hallelujah, Tottenham have actually replaced Fernando Llorente. For the first time in like 14 months, they have a backup striker to start FM21. Carlos Vinicius has come in initially on loan with an option to buy from Benfica. And obviously you have the king himself, Harry Kane, who keeps going on and on and on. England captain, future Tottenham captain in my opinion. Finding someone to play essentially second fiddle to Harry Kane is always very, very difficult. Keeping players happy when Harry Kane is in front of them is always a tricky task with Football Manager. I think Vinicius is going to be a great addition to this squad. Offers something different to Harry Kane. Obviously, Kane now really likes to play a little bit deeper. Doesn't like to play as the main striker. So you may end up playing them both together if you're that way inclined. Obviously, you've got the likes of Son, who can play as a striker. Dele Alli can do it as well. Obviously, Gareth Bale can probably play down the centre. You could put Gareth Bale in goal, and I think he'd be rather good. And that is it for today's video of Why Not Choose. If you've enjoyed today's video, please leave a like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, would like to do so, please hit the subscribe button down in the corner. If you've got any teams you want me to take a look at on this short series, please let me know in the comment section below. Also, don't forget, I'm a member of the Passion for FM team. The link to the Discord server is in the description. I would love to see you in there to chat all things Football Manager. I've been FMZ, and I will see you next time. Until then, thanks for watching. Goodbye.